There is nothing more American than standing up for the Constitution. That's what we were doing. President didn't like it, so now he calls for us to be hanged.
Welcome back to Square Off. Arizona Senator Mark Kelly reacting to President Trump calling for the death penalty, suggesting a hanging. Trump responding to a video that Kelly and other members of Congress posted on social media, speaking directly to members of the military. Here's a clip.
I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy.
Like us, you all swore an oath.
To protect and defend this Constitution.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
So were Senator Kelly and his fellow Democratic lawmakers out of line? Was Trump, as Kelly said, promoting political violence, a subject Kelly knows all too well? Our politics panel steps in now with answers to those questions and much more. Stacey Pearson, Democratic consultant at Lumen Strategies, and Chad Haywood, Republican consultant at Camelback Strategy Group and a former Arizona Republican Party executive director. Welcome back. Chad, were Senator Kelly and his colleagues undermining the commander-in-chief?
I think all of our service members follow lawful orders, and I think the implication from just a partisan group of Democrats implying that they are not subject to fault. I mean, it's basically undermining the commander-in-chief, because if they really wanted to say something innocuous like that, you get a bipartisan group, and if you're going to make a bold claim, say what the unlawful orders are. And so I think President Trump, as a commander-in-chief, felt a bit undermined. He's clearly reacting to that in the way that he does, very boldly. I don't think there are going to be any calls for political violence. I think this will pass and cooler heads will prevail.
Cooler heads will prevail. Was this just a bold response by Trump?
This is absolute insanity. We've got the leader of the free world calling for a senator to get hung. I mean, this is so beyond what we could even imagine in terms of rhetoric. And there are concerns about whether or not there are lawful orders. We're bombing boats out of the Caribbean, and there have not been debates on the merit of those actions. And so I think that Senator Kelly and folks that have actually served and didn't dodge a draft have all the right in the world to remind service members that their orders need to be lawful.
You make an interesting point. You know, this back and forth and just the language used, is this now replacing what's supposed to happen in Congress?
It certainly looks that way. I mean, this conversation about what we're doing in Venezuela or near Venezuela in that ocean, in the Caribbean Ocean, should be discussed publicly. I mean, we are taking very serious military action in an area that is oil rich. We should be talking about that. Congress should be talking about it.
Yeah, when you have drugs coming to American shores and killing Americans, the president will make a claim that, hey, this is a national security breach. And so we should be debating this in the Senate. I think if these senators feel it's unlawful, bring it out to the table, bring it to the public arena, and let's have hearings on it.
Okay. So by tomorrow, is this going to blow over and we're on to something else? An almost unprecedented statement, probably unprecedented statement by the President of the United States?
I certainly hope not. I mean, but rage is the machine, right? That is the point of social media at this point. They have monetized rage, and this certainly falls into that trap.
All right. Earlier in the week, President Trump gave Republicans in the House and Senate a free pass. You can vote to release the Epstein files. What was that all about?
Well, it's the fact that a tranche of 20,000 emails were released by the Epstein estate with no control from the Department of Justice and no oversight from any of the federal agencies. And so the story escaped what was a very carefully built cage. And so certainly they had to respond.
And it gives people like Andy Biggs, running for governor of Arizona, he got a free pass to say, sure, release it, even though he was, very opposed to that.
Yeah, it looked to seem like they had the votes in the House with Grijalva sworn in and with some Republicans. So I think at this point, the White House figured, let's get ahead of it, let's release it, let's try to control the narrative. It doesn't seem like President Trump is implicated in it. So I'm not sure if they thought this was a distraction, but it's here now, and they're going to lean into it, and they're going to go after Democrats that are listening. And you're already seeing fallout from that with Larry Summers and others.
But does Trump have the leverage, or does he know that down the road there are reasons this won't be released? Much of it won't be released because much of it is an active case.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Certainly they've got control of the Department of Justice. They have control over the active investigations. They've got control over what will and will not be released. The difference the distinct difference is that there were files released from the estate itself, and they didn't have control over that.
All right. Next up, Democratic Governor Katie Hobbs drove Republicans mad this past week by claiming she was, quote, proudly working to deliver a tax cut for middle-class Arizonans. Where did that come from? Well, all she was doing was ordering the State Department of Revenue to make Arizona tax forms conform to the changes in President Trump's tax and spending bill, but kind of claiming it as her own. Great PR move by Katie Hobbs, or maybe just a little too clever?
Oh, it's a great move, and it's the right thing to do. It is exactly what voters want, is lower taxes, more deductions. It's exactly what she should
Delivered by Katie Hobbs as she enters an election year.
Chad.
Katie Hobbs opposed every tax cut. Doug Ducey, the legislature, I mean, her coming out and saying the exact terms of the big, beautiful bill that she opposed are her tax cuts, her family rebates. I just think voters will feel like it's inauthentic. It's an election year play. And this is something the legislature was going to pass anyway. They were going to pass tax conformity and bring it to her. And so she's getting ahead of it by saying she suddenly loves tax cuts.
Yeah, and to the point you're making, to be clear, the legislature did this when in the last time Trump cut taxes in 2017, I believe, they had to conform, and they have to conform this year as well. So this had to be done. She just found a different way to do it.
I think it'll come across as inauthentic. I think there's a reason why they did it by press release instead of press conference. She still doesn't believe it. It'll look like a hostage situation for a little while, but we'll see.
It's also the week before Thanksgiving, right? So a press release makes perfect sense.
All right. Let's tie up a loose end on a story that's been around for a little bit. Austin Smith, former Republican lawmaker, former Turning Point Action leader, pleaded guilty to 2 counts of forging petition signatures he needed to run for office. He also admitted forging the signature of a dead woman. The irony alert is blaring red right now. Chad, this is your brief. Why don't you run with that?
Well, look, I think Representative Smith talked a lot about stolen elections, reforming the election system, and I don't know if it was hubris or just sort of got lazy and behind the curve on qualifying for the ballot, but it is the first job of a campaign. You can even hire and pay people to get signatures. For him to go into a voter file and forge signatures, especially one of these signatures, they said it was on the day of this woman's celebration of life. So, so he pled guilty to that. Not a great look for him. He's a young guy, competitive guy. Hopefully he learns from it, moves on, and can't run for office for a little while, it looks like. So he's got some time to think about it.
Think 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, he faces a sentence of probation. Stacey, you want to just jump in?
Look, the legislature over the course of the last decade has made it increasingly difficult for citizens' initiatives to get on the ballot. Candidates, however, can file online. You can collect signatures online. The fact that they were running around the rules is just unforgivable. And the fact that there's only a 5-year ban, if you're cheating and you're signing petitions from dead people, you should never hold a public office. So I think we're going to see some of those rules, the penalties increase.
In a way, does this action, this guilty plea, should that reinforce people's faith in our elections and the policing of them, or is just so obvious?
A lot of the laws that give this teeth were actually passed by these Republican legislators. I mean, they are taking signature fraud very seriously because of laws we passed to make sure there's integrity in our election system. And so the system is working. The fact that he pled guilty and there's a whole apparatus to prosecute around this is a good thing.
All right, got ended there. Chad Haywood, Stacey Pearson, thanks so much for joining us, and I wish you a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And remember, 12 Plus is the streaming home of 12 News, where you can see all our Sunday Square Off coverage. Download 12 Plus on your Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV devices right now. And that's our show for this week. Thanks very much to all of our guests. Thank you so much for joining us. And of course, we wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving. See you back here in 2 weeks for another round of Sunday Square Off.